NASCAR is back after its 2-week break, but now it's time to kick it into high gear. 4 races to go at 4 completely different racetracks as we get closer and closer to the playoffs for the chase for the Cup. Today, the NASCAR Cup Series returns to Richmond, but this time different tire compounds throw in a new twist for tonight's race as we get you set and ready for the 2024 Cookout 400 from the Richmond Raceway here in Richmond, Virginia. And NASCAR's return to racing is being met with beautiful conditions under the lights. Temperature is going to vary from the high 60s to the low 70s, no chance of rain, with a slight wind going through north-northeast at 5 miles per hour. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of NASCAR RaceDay. Back after a long break. As you can see, I have moved back into my parents' place for just the time being. This is not permanent, but yes, I am back at this location for the time being. Don't worry, this stuff is going to be changed. There's going to be flags and stuff on this to make it look nice. So this white backdrop is not going to be like this forever. But yes, very excited that NASCAR will be returning tonight at the Richmond Raceway. Now, 2 weeks ago at Indianapolis ended in controversy, but Kyle Larson came out as the winner in the Brickyard 400, once again leading at the top of the standings, not only in the playoff standings, but also in the NASCAR top 10. 10 points he is ahead of his teammate Chase Elliott. Tyler Reddick and Denny Hamlin remain 3rd and 4th. Ryan Blaney up 2 spots up to 5th with his good run at the end of 2 weeks ago's race at Indianapolis, now minus 73. William Byron minus 95, and Martin Truex Jr. each loses a spot at minus 96, where Christopher Bell, Brad Keselowski, and Alex Bowman remaining 8th, 9th, and 10th unchanged. Meanwhile, the battle for the final playoff spots is looking a bit interesting. Martin Truex Jr. has a plus 108 gap, about a 2-race gap ahead of the cut line. Ty Gibbs plus 42 though, with his bad runs as of late. He is now within that 60-point gap, meaning he is in danger of falling out of the top 16 as a result of what could take place here tonight. Chris Buescher plus 17, and Ross Chastain now just 7 points ahead of Bubba Wallace with his great run in the Brickyard 400. Chase Briscoe remains in 18th, minus 83. Kyle Busch minus 112 and 19th after his crash late in the race, and Todd Gilliland remains in 20th, minus 118 points below the cut line. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR and proud sponsor of the Busch Light Polo Award, given to the fastest driver at each NASCAR Cup Series event. Busch Light congratulates Denny Hamlin for his 43rd career pole, the 3rd pole of 2024, and his 4th career pole here at Richmond. Does it with the speed of 118.162 miles per hour. Since 2020, Busch Beer has invested more than $70 million in becoming one of the NASCAR Cup Series premier title sponsors. So here's a look at the full 37 race lineup for the 2024 Cookout 400. Starting alongside Denny Hamlin is his teammate, one of the best at Richmond, Martin Truex Jr., competing in his final Richmond start as a full-time driver. Row 2, Josh Berry had a good run, showed great speed the last time we were at Richmond here in the spring, starting alongside Chase Elliott, repping the Coca-Cola colors here tonight. Christopher Bell and Austin Dillon, surprisingly, that 3 car has been putting up some really good numbers as of late, starting in the 6th position. Chris Buescher and Bubba Wallace, 2 key drivers fighting for the playoffs, starting in row 4, with round out the top 10 going to Joey Logano and Tyler Reddick. Row 6 has Ryan Blaney and Kyle Busch in the 8 car. Kyle Busch racing not 100% with a sprained arm, so he is racing injured. We'll see how he does in this race. Row 7 has William Byron, and the 54, he gets the Toyota of Ty Gibbs. Row 8 has Kyle Larson. Surprised to see him so far down the running order, despite the fact of how well he has been running this season, starting alongside Noah Gragson. Row 9 has Alex Bowman in the 48 car and Austin Cindric in the 2 car, with rookie Harrison Hocevar and rookie Zane Smith, teammates from Inspire Motorsports, rounding out the top 20. Row 11 has teammates from Trackhouse. Daniel Suarez just got a new contract extension for 2025, starting alongside Ross Chastain in the 1 car. Row 12 has Todd Gilliland and Corey LaJoie in the 7 car, although he does not have a ride for 2025. We'll see how he does for the rest of the season as he goes out looking for a job. Row 13 has Chase Briscoe and teammate Ryan Preece. Row 14 has Eric Jones and the number 34 Ford of Michael McDowell, with the round of the top 30 being Brad Keselowski. Surprised to see him this far down the running order, starting alongside Ty Dillon, rounding out the top 30. In the final 4 rows, Harrison Burnett and Daniel Hemrick, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Riley Herbst, John Hunter Nemechek and Justin Haley, with rookie Parker Retzlaff, who has been competing in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, making his Cup Series debut for MBM Motorsports, rounding out the 37-car field in the 66 machine. Here's a look at the odds to win the Cookout 400. Denny Hamlin, top of the board at plus 350, teammate Truex Jr. at plus 400, Christopher Bell at plus 450, and Kyle Larson at plus 850. Then a big jump. Joe Logano, Chris Buescher, and Chase Elliott at plus 1,400, Reddick at 1,500, with Busch and Berry sitting at 1,800. These are some really good odds for drivers that could surprise some of the field here today. Ryan Blaney plus 2,000, Bubba Wallace starting in 8th place though, plus 2,200. Ty Gibbs, Ross Chastain, and Brad Keselowski at plus 2,500. William Byron at plus 2,800. And Austin Dillon, I mean, who knows how he can do in this race. He's starting in 6th, was really good in the Saturday sessions, plus 4,000. Alex Bowman at 5,500. Daniel Suarez at 6,000. And Michael McDowell at plus 8,000. Okay, so what can we expect in this race? I don't know. The last time that we experimented with different tire compounds was back at North Wilkesboro. That had very little to no effect. The difference is that North Wilkesboro was a freshly repaved racetrack. This one is a worn out Richmond Raceway. Hasn't been repaved in a long time. So two different approaches to this race. With these different tire compounds, what we're hoping is for strategy, different types of strategy, drivers trying to maybe opt with the softer tire, the red Goodyear colors, I believe they're being painted for this weekend. Obviously, with the softer tire compound, you get better grip, more speed, but it wears out a lot quicker. Will this actually work? Will the softer tire actually work? Will we see different variations of drivers pushing the envelope, different lap times, comers and goers? Or could we see something like what we saw at North Wilkesboro where, yeah, you get a little bit of an advantage in the softer tire compound, but then it just evens out? That is something we'll be very interested in seeing. As for the drivers to watch out for, we can't really say it because different drivers want different tire options. Like I mentioned, Austin Dillon was really fast in the Saturday sessions, up in the top 10. Zane Smith, I think, even had the fastest 10-lap averages, if I'm not mistaken. But you can't really take that. You have to take that with a grain of salt because, like I mentioned, so many different drivers are doing so many different things that you can't really get a good idea as to which drivers to really take a look at. One thing you can say is Toyota is going to be fast. Denny Hamlin and Mark Truex Jr., they're starting on the front row, are the best, one of the best drivers at Richmond. Denny Hamlin won the race earlier in the year. Mark Truex Jr. just was oh so close if it wasn't for that restart controversy there. So you know they're going to be faster tonight, more than likely. The Chevrolet drivers, I expect them to struggle, to continue to struggle. Even though Larson rebounded with the top 5 finish in the spring race, still we haven't seen the speed out of the Chevy camp. Yes, Chase Elliott is starting in the top 10. If you look at some of the other drivers, Kyle Larson starting in 16th, Alex Bowman and William Byron, they're starting in mid-pack and haven't shown that Chevrolet pace, that speed that we expect to see them every single Sunday. Ford, on the other hand, this is another track that we can see Ford excel once again. They have been gaining and gaining and gaining on their competition. 2 weeks ago at Indianapolis on the big racetracks with Ryan Blaney nearly winning that race, or at the very least having a good shot at winning this race. Back in the spring, Joe Logano had a real fast car, almost had a shot at winning the race. You look at the top 10 starting right now. Josh Berry up in 3rd place, Logano in 10th, but we have to talk about the defending winner from last year. Chris Buescher. Chris Buescher has been having the season that we have expected of him so far after how he entered the playoffs with so much momentum, winning 3 races, I believe, winning at Richmond, Michigan, and then Daytona. But this year, we haven't seen that speed out of the 17 car. We've seen him have opportunities like what we saw at Darlington and Kansas, but just missing out that much due to circumstances out of his control. You come here to a track like Richmond, he's starting in the 7th position, needs to have some speed, needs to have a great run to build that gap that he has over the points cutoff line. He's only 17 points above. That can go away after 2 stages. You have a guy like Bubba Wallace, who he's starting right alongside, coming off of a great finish at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway 2 weeks ago, having a ton of momentum into Richmond, but doesn't have the best result. He loves a track like Richmond, but doesn't have the results to really back it up. What I've noticed out of the 23 camp is that they've had speed, but they just can't finish a race, whether either it's out of their own control or due to their own decisions. And that's something that's going to be key when you look at these drivers. Chris Buescher and Bubba Wallace are sitting in great positions, have a lot of momentum, have a lot of good things going their side. However, you look at the opposite end of the spectrum, Ross Chastain, there is real great danger of him missing the playoffs, just 7 points above the cut line. And he hasn't really shown the speed that I think that he has to straight up beat the 17 and the 23. The 17 and the 23, I think speed-wise are much better than the one car. Chastain is starting in 21st position. Obviously, we know with Richmond, with this new tire compound, things can change. You could see a lot of different tire variations. Some drivers are willing to gamble on their competition to get stage points. So it's going to be very interesting watching those bubble drivers of, the Chris Buschers, Ty Gibbs, Wallaces, Chastains, and even look maybe below the cut line, even further down. Chase Briscoe and Kyle Busch. How are they going to react? Chase Briscoe's the type of driver I don't think we can expect much due to the equipment he's in. But you look at a guy like Kyle Busch. He is in race win mode. He cannot, I don't see this A car pointing their way in. They have to win. And you couple the fact with Kyle Busch having a sprained wrist, things are not looking good for the 8 camp. And I don't know. I think going into this weekend, I just can't see the season getting better for Kyle Busch. But regardless, it's going to be very interesting, the storylines that we have into this race on top of the tire compounds. And I think, hopefully, we have a really good race here tonight. As for my Fantasy Live lineup, this is what I got. So, currently at the moment, I have Denny Hamlin. I mean, no surprise to have him up there. I got Joey Logano up there, Martin Truex Jr., Christopher Bell, and I got Josh Berry, and I have Austin Dillon. I have him in my garage. I don't know. I do look back at 4 years ago where he had that tremendous run in the playoffs that nearly won, had one of the best cars there. Starting in the top 5, I don't know. Or top 6, I don't know, something about this 3 car, I could be so wrong about this. I could be 1000% wrong, but I don't know. There's something about this 3 car that I'm just like, I feel like he could shock some people. I feel like he could. But the driver that I do have winning is Martin Truex Jr. He hasn't been to victory lane so far in 2024 in his final season. He has won here multiple times at Richmond. I think he's going to go out for not for vengeance, but for revenge for what happened at the end of the spring race earlier in the year where he looked like I want to say he got screwed out of one because Hamlin did jump the restart, but regardless, he's going to want revenge. He's going to want to go back to victory lane and end this long winless streak and win in his final season. So I have Martin Truex Jr. winning this race. But that is it for this episode of MDK Race Day. Let me know who do you think is going to win in the comment section down below. As always, sit back, relax, and enjoy the 2024 Cookout 400 from Richmond. We'll see you back here later tonight for an episode of MDK Racing Victory Stop. Until next time, my name is Jett. Thanks for watching.